Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? Got to take care of a few things before we jump into this week's episode. First, our Ramping Isometrics for BJJ program. It is a 12-week program, all laid out for you. It's going to help you build strength and cardio in the fastest, safest, and most convenient way possible. This is how James and I have been training for the past year, and we love it. So we put this program together so you can just follow along, and we are certain you will see and feel the benefits that we do. It's only $15. Just go to grumpyguybjj.com, click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll find it. Next, R3. This is our K2 D3 supplement. It is a combination of those two vitamins, D3 and K2. These are two vitamins that James and I have been taking for a long time that really help us recover from hard training sessions. And for only $15 with free shipping, you get a whole month's supply. I was going to pull up some studies explaining the benefits of D3 and K2, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence and pretend to be a fucking scientist. I take it. It helps me recover. That's it. So for $15, check it out. And last but certainly not least, we have partnered up with Jiu-Jitsu.com. They have a ton of awesome BJJ instructionals, and they have hooked us up with a discount code for our listeners. It's Grumpy10. So what you got to do is you go to Jiu-Jitsu.com, which is DIGITSU.com. Find the instructionals you want, throw them in a shopping cart. In the little discount code box, you type in Grumpy10, which is just GRUMPY and the number 10. 10. That's it. No spaces. Boom. You get 10% off. You're up and running. They got a nice app you can download on your phone. That way you can take your instructionals right to the gym with you, watch the technique, drill it. It's a pretty sweet setup. So once again, DIGITSU.com. Discount code Grumpy10, GRUMPY10. Simple as that. To find all this stuff I just got done talking about, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com. Click the drop-down menu in the upper right-hand corner. There, you'll subscribe to our newsletter for podcast updates. You'll find links for the Ramping ISOs program, the R3 recovery supplement, and then under the programs and products tab, you'll find a link to Jiu-Jitsu.com. And let's be honest, if you guys can't figure out how to navigate a website by now, there's nothing I can do to help you. So quit fucking around, check it out, train hard, and let's get into this week's episode. And boom.
Here we are back again.
Yep.
Did we do a Pokemon update last time?
No.
You know, I don't think we
so.
did.
You slept the whole time, huh?
Yeah.
That's right. We
You're
missed.
a sleepy guy. So, we're back though. No. We got our one. So, cool. Well, we're back with a Pokemon update to kick things off. So, you ready, Z?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's hear it.
It's an Ampharos.
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 It's a rare. It's an electric type. It has 140 hit points. It evolves from Fluffy. Fluffy is its stage 2 Pokemon. And its attacks are Shocking Light and Gigavolt.
Gigavolt. Wow.
Gigavolt does 80 plus damage and Shocking Light does 0 damage.
Huh. Cool. What does it say? What's the little description say?
The tail's tip shines brightly and can be seen from far away. It acts as a beacon for lost people.
Well, that's nice of it. Cool. Well, it's good. That was the rare one.
Mm-hmm. The rarest one out of all of them.
Yeah. Did you tell Rob what we did for Mom's birthday?
Oh yeah. We got some floaties and we went to a lake.
The Los Colonias Park.
The Lazy River.
The Lazy River thing.
Yeah, and then we went down it.
That's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's mine and Frank's favorite swimming spot. That's where we go in the mornings.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
At
Yeah.
6?
Yep, like 6:30 in the morning we go down there. And we got the whole place to ourselves. Frank just swims up and down that river.
Heck yeah.
We shouldn't take Ajax to that place until he learns how to swim. Definitely.
Yep.
Because there are a couple really deep spots.
Yep. And he needs to get all his shots too. So
That's the most important thing.
So he doesn't get some crazy disease. But yeah, we went there and checked it out. And we brought our paddle boards. But I was like, man, that's a lot of rigmarole for that. Just airing up those paddle boards.
Because they'd be cumbersome to get down the end and carry them all the way back.
Yeah. And then, so we're like, well, let's just go to Walmart and see if we can find some floaties. And so we go to Walmart, and all they had in stock were these $2 cheap, like the square or like the rectangle,
like an air mattress.
Yeah, an air mattress type deal, exactly. And so we were like, well, let's go for it. And so we blew them up, and at first I was like, dude, I don't know if this thing's gonna hold me up. And we got it situated though, and we went down a couple times. It was fun. First time I went down on my stomach, and I had like my head up, and it was good because I could maneuver and stuff. But the problem is that the lowest point on the boat is your crotch. So if anything's gonna run aground,
it's gonna be your
fucking crotch. So and there was some low spots, man.
Low spots,
I was like, whoa,
sticks and stuff.
Yeah, man. So I had to maneuver myself a little bit. And the next time I laid on my back, and I was easier because then you could just plank out, and it would get you up. So I didn't drag quite as much. But
did you guys see those other big pool areas they had specifically designed for paddleboarding and kayak and stuff?
Yeah, we drove around that whole park.
It's pretty nice, man. The city did a good job with that.
They did, man.
It's a really nice area.
We saw the bike park too.
Yep,
near there.
that bike park.
I've never seen that before.
The ramps and the jumps and stuff. That's pretty cool too.
People would ask me about it, and I'd be like, I've never seen it.
Yeah, now you have.
Yeah, now I have. So cool, man. Anything else you want to add?
The new scooter.
Got your new
it's
scooter.
It's pretty sweet, huh? I rode it this morning. I'm a professional.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, if you're done.
No, I'm actually a professional because Rob almost crashed. You didn't do a backflip. You almost crashed.
Both of those statements were extremely true.
Yeah. No, you said they were what you just said were true.
I did not do a backflip, and I almost crashed just going down the driveway.
Oh, I thought that you meant both of those statements, that you did a backflip and that you almost crashed, were true.
No.
And I can do a bunny hop and jump off the slanted curb and jump up the slanted curb and jump off the square curb.
Sweet. It's way more than I can do.
Yep.
And pop a wheelie and kind of ride a wheelie a little bit.
You'll have that in no time.
Yeah, man.
Have what in no
Riding
time?
a wheelie in no time, I bet.
I already can, kind of.
Yeah.
Look at Snakey.
Oh, man. He's coming to say hi to you, Rob.
Yeah, he knows I'm here.
That's funny.
We got a weird relationship. The Snake and I.
I think he's hungry. It's been like 4 days since I fed him.
Has it?
Yeah. He's coming out. All right, buddy. Well.
Do you know that the podcast is hearing this?
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. Okay, well.
Thanks, dude.
Okay.
Be good out there. Don't argue with your mother when she tells you to take a shower. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Come on, man.
Right. Later, dude.
Okay, buddy. See ya. All right.
I'm watching you, buddy. Don't worry about
Looking
it.
at Snakey.
All right.
Okay. Close the door. There you go.
There's he.
There he is. Man. He's in an interesting space.
He is.
7.5.
Yeah.
It's just a very interesting headspace. I realize he doesn't, at 7, you can't put yourself in anyone else's shoes. You can't see the world like through anyone else's eyes. Like you think that, if you try to look at a decision that what would someone else want? And it's like, well, I would want this. So they would too. You know what I mean?
I wonder when we develop that. I'm sure, it's an individual basis.
I think it becomes more pronounced. Like, I don't know how to, like, I kind of remember, like, thinking back to his age, like, you know, because I have like these distinct, because I moved around a lot, and so it's easy for me to kind of.
You got some like landmarks.
Yes, yeah. So I remember I can, you know, kind of put some memories at 7, or you know, around his age when I was in like first grade, give or take, and I think, you know, I remember kind of having looking back on some of the things that I did, realizing like, oh, like I was going through the same thing where you just can't see the world through anyone else's eyes. And it starts to become more apparent because, you know, I can communicate more, and I'm like, you know, starting to become not a baby. When you're a baby, you know, it doesn't matter. And when you're, you know, younger, it's as you get older and it starts to become more of an issue, because if you can't eventually see the world through someone else's eyes, like, why would you treat anyone good? You know, you're like, oh, I want to hit that person, so they must obviously want to be hit.
Right.
You know, if I was them, I would want to be hit, because, or whatever, you know, it's like, so it's been interesting, like, realizing that, I guess, and just kind of, you know, having to just take a deep breath and just be like, all right, man, he just doesn't know. He doesn't know. And you got to keep working with him, keep trying to keep him on the right path. But, you know, like one of the things is like with the puppy, like I keep telling him, like, you know, you got to try to see what does Jax want? What does Jax want right now? Not what do you want to do with Jax? What does Jax want? And man, he just struggles with that so hard. And he's like, I was asking him, like, you know, you can't understand what Jax wants. He's like, I've never thought about it before. I don't know. And so, it's like he's laying there. He's tired. He wants to go to sleep. Like, just because he pops his head up and opens his eyes for a second doesn't mean that he's up and like ready to go. Because like you want to go play with him, but he wants to rest. Or, you know, he doesn't like it when you tease him with something. Like, you think it's funny, but what do you think he thinks? Mm-hmm. And so it's been this, like, you know, a lot of the friction with those two has been that, like, him just completely being unable to understand, like, what the dog sees, and then how to react appropriately. And then you realize, like, oh, yeah, that's a problem with a lot of people. Like, they just never grow out of that. They never learn how to gain that empathy to see the world through someone else's eyes.
And, I mean, even with a dog, there's another layer to that. You know, just understanding how dogs communicate. You know, dog psychology and what they see and how they behave, you know, and how your actions feed into that.
Oh, yeah.
There's levels to that, you know what I mean? You can go way, and that's just a whole nother
That counts for people, too. Like, it's for everything.
Yeah.
Like, that was the whole thing, the Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer, like, he actually got his insights from marriage counseling. You know, where they were talking about, well, I know that, you know, think about what your spouse sees and what does your spouse take from your actions and the way that you're acting. Like, you know, look at it from their perspective and what do they see. And like, so it was funny, like he actually kind of did that in reverse, and that's where he had his insights. But I mean, the same thing. People and dogs, you got to think, what do they see?
And dude, it's crazy too, is how tuned in your dog gets to you.
Yeah.
Like, you emotionally, like when you're stressed or excited or scared or nervous, like your dog picks up on that quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, way more than you can even realize. You know, that your dog picks up on that energy. And it's funny, man. Dogs they've evolved to be so perceptive to us humans because we you know, provide so much for them.
Oh, yeah. Well, the ones that were perceptive were the ones that got
survived,
selected to continue breeding.
Yeah, but they are tuned in, boy.
Yeah.
And, you know, when people are nervous around dogs, it's a kind of a perpetual circle. You know, you get someone that's afraid of dogs, well, they act, so they're like, oh, I got bit. You know, and so then they act nervous around dogs, and that makes dogs act nervous. And so it just kind of, so now they think all dogs are sketchy. Like, no, man, like, you really gotta...
Yeah.
If you're going to be... I understand if you're afraid of dogs. I guess I can sort of understand that someone's afraid of dogs.
I can understand if you had some sort of traumatic experience involving dogs. It's kind of hard to get over. Other than that, I don't fucking understand it.
No,
if you're just like, I don't like dogs, I don't... Whatever, it's like...
It makes me quite... Yeah. Like, if you're not a dog person... Like, you don't have to... Like, dude, I love dogs. And like, you... Like,
yeah.
And so I'm a little extreme. But when I meet someone that just doesn't like dogs,
Yeah, they're super defensive around. I'm like, I don't like dogs.
It really makes me question that person. It's not somebody I can hang out with. Like,
no.
They're really like, okay, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I think so, man.
I know maybe it's judgmental, but like...
Well, from an evolutionary standpoint, it makes sense. I mean, because the dogs were super valuable. Like, they were the first animal that was domesticated. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if you're a member of the tribe and you don't like this super valuable new member of the tribe, it's... Dude, dogs do so much for you.
Yep.
You know, like, it's just, and that's like kind of baked into your fucking DNA on some level. Like, you know, your ancestors, like one of your ancestors made it because a fucking dog helped them with hunting, helped them with like sentry, like alerting them to some sort of intruder or something, like protecting them. And I mean, dogs have done so much for us over the years. Like, you know, Indians used to use them as pack animals. That little... because before the Spanish got here, there were no horses. Like, there were no large domesticated animals on the North or South America. Well, I guess they had the llama in South America, but in North America, they had no large domesticated animals. And so, but they would use dogs to, like, drag, you know, the poles, like the little sled, the drag behind or whatever. And so, yeah. And then even some cultures bred them for meat. They had, like, special dogs for meat. So yeah, they've been a valuable thing. It's funny they talk about that. Have you read that book, The Guns, Germs, and Steel, or whatever?
Jared Diamond?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been a while. I think I did that one on audio.
Did you?
A few years back.
Yeah. Now I'm reading that now, and it's interesting. Like, some of the things he's pointing out. Although I disagree with his paleological or archaeological conclusions, because I think, like Graham Hancock, that the reason that the megafauna went extinct, and one of the reasons that the North and South American continent were so far behind technologically compared to the Eurasian continent, had to do with what happened during the Younger Dryas era, when the fucking comet strikes hit, and just the
comet strike, mass
fucking
flooding,
hell on Earth that it unleashed over a 20-year period. And for whatever reason, the North American continent and its, you know, glaciers and ice sheets were impacted significantly harder than the Eurasian continent, and that basically fucking scrubbed everything clean. Just reset everything back to the fucking Stone Age, during the Stone Age kind of thing, you know? And so yeah, and then just the evidence that the Americas were peopled way before 11,000 years ago. The whole like Clovis first, you know, the thing has been pretty much disproven. I mean, Graham Hancock went pretty convincingly, showed that that whole idea of Clovis first was more there because and Clovis is like it's a place in New Mexico where they found the first artifacts of these, you know, hunter-gatherers, and it was, you know, they dated it to 11,000 years ago, and so they're thought to be like the first people on the North American continent, because the theory is like they came over the Eurasian or the Bering land bridge, and then some, you know, split between the glaciers opened, and you had the ice-free corridor that somehow they've, you know, followed animals through and came through to this place that, you know, had no people on it. And again, that's just not, they've shown pretty convincingly that that's not the case. That, I mean, you can date the Americas being populated back to at least like 25 or, you know, 30,000 years ago. And so, but anyways, it doesn't matter why, right? Like, you know, he had it like, the point is that there was a difference. Like, why was there a difference in the way technology and agriculture and domestication and all these things developed on the different continents? And so, but yeah, about 11,000 years ago, this is where we started. How we got there and what was there before, you know, whatever, we can debate that, but that's where we started. But that's super fascinating how he digs into like what makes for a domesticated, you know, a good animal and a good plant species, and why not all animals and plants, and how they weren't distributed evenly and stuff like that. But yeah, the dogs were the first ones. But he did say, like, you know, dogs were usually eaten in areas where they didn't have other like good protein, you know, like domesticated animals, large domesticated animals to eat instead. So that's why it wasn't a more widespread thing. They were way more valuable for these other things than as a food source. But, you know,
if you have to,
dude, yeah, you live somewhere and it's not even like you're starving, you know, you're looking around and you're like, well, what's the largest fucking protein source we have? Like in some areas it was like dogs. Like that was like one of the larger animals in the area. And so you're just going to naturally like, man, we need fucking protein to live. So it's not a thing. And that's why in those cultures that eat dogs, it's not the same thing. You know, it's not like you and I, like the way that we look at dogs, we're like, dude, I could never eat a dog. No way. There's no way. But culturally, it's different for those cultures. And it has nothing to do except when you look back at like, oh, the available food sources in the areas. Not everybody started with the same shit.
Right.
So you're not going to end up at the same place. And so a culture that didn't have access to cows and, you know, these large animals, and they developed, you know, dogs to fill that purpose. I mean, that makes total sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It doesn't mean that they hate dogs or, you know what I mean? It's not like a moral thing. Mm-hmm. It's like a fucking survival thing. Mm-hmm. So, but, yeah. It's a fucking interesting book, man.
It's a good book.
Yeah. It's kind of funny reading that right after the Graham Hancock book, and I'm reading his setup, and I'm like, oh, that's fucking wrong, motherfucker.
That is interesting.
What about the comets?
Going from, speaking of cool shit in the sky, right now there's a few planets you can see certain times of the day.
Yeah.
So I discovered this, I think it was earlier this week. So I wake up every morning like 5:15ish.
Yeah.
That's when my alarm's set for, and my sunrise alarm, the little light turns on at like a half hour before that. So 4:45, and it slowly gets brighter until 5:15, right? And I have my bedroom window open, and it's facing the east. So I open my eyes, and I look outside, and it's still dark, but it's not 100% dark, you know, a little daylight coming. Well, off in the east, I saw this, kind of up over the mesa, I saw this really bright star. I mean, this thing was pronounced. And I saw that earlier, you know, like a few days ago, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It's like, I made star, satellite, or something. I just didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
And the next day, same thing. Woke up, opened my eyes, and it's right above this tree I got out my window. I can kind of see it just kind of sits there perfectly. I'm like, dude, there's something to that. If this thing catches my eye, I don't look up at the sky all the time, you know, and search stars and shit. I'm not a fucking astrologist, but this definitely caught my attention. I was like, all right, that's something. And if it was a satellite, it would have moved, or you know, but this was in the exact same spot. I was like, so I, of course, went to Google, and it's actually Venus.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see it right, and it's a short window. You can only see it right before sunrise. You have like a 20-minute window. It's slightly out right now. It's like a little after 5 a.m. until 5:20. By 5:30 rolls around, and you can't see it anymore. I don't know where it goes or why you can't see it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, man. So if Ajax happens to wake you up at 5 a.m., you look out to the east, dude.
Yeah.
It's like there's no doubt that you can find it pretty quick. Like, It's bright, dude. It's pretty decent size and bright.
Huh.
And there's a couple other planets you can see right now too, because of course that website I went to that I learned about that explained that there's a few other ones. I think you can see like Saturn and Uranus right now, and it's at nighttime though, and I think it's like in the southwest sky, kind of before sunset. I'd have to look at the details again.
Yeah.
But this time of year, in this cycle right now, you can see these couple planets.
Interesting.
But it's pretty cool. I was pumped when I discovered that this week. I was like, oh, I'm seeing Venus every morning. And it's right there in that same, like I wake up, boom, alarm kind of goes off. I look outside. I'm like, oh, I can see a fucking planet right there. You know, there's Venus. And then, sure shit, if I fall back asleep or whatever, if I look out there at 5:30, if I'm still in bed, it's gone. Like, I don't know when it disappears. I haven't seen the exact moment when it disappears, but it's just like disappears. Like, I don't know where it goes, but it's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
It makes you think that, man, we are just kind of floating around out in this
just fucking rock
just floating around. We see these other giant rocks floating around. And it's
yeah.
Like, You forget that. You just get into your day-to-day life. You're like, wait a second.
No, I know. I was gonna say it's funny that because even I don't want to use I'll use the word cynical, but I go off that because you're like, I'm not a fucking astrologer or whatever. Right. So looking up at the stars is it's cool, but whatever. But even you're like, take pause with that and get curious, and you're looking into it, and it's there's just something instinctive about that. And I was just gonna say, like, that's imagine what you would do when you didn't have anything else to pay attention to, right? There was no TV, there was no radio. Man, when it got dark, what else did you have to look at? Mm-hmm. The fucking sky. That's it. And just as curious as we are, that's why again, that was one of those things in the Graham Hancock book. Like, why do you find all of these structures around the world like aligned to, the summer solstice or the winter solstice, or, the 4 cardinal directions, or, lined up with this planet or constellation? And it's like, well, that's what humans would do if we weren't wasting all of our fucking brain power on social media and fucking TV.
Exactly.
Like, that's what we would be doing, because, like, what else would you do?
Yeah, and you don't have a lot of answers to things. Like, why does the weather change? Why does it get cold? And then you start connecting things. Oh, like at this time of year, the leaves are starting to change. Oh, the stars look different in the sky at this time of year. When every night you lay down and you're looking up at the sky, like, you get used to seeing the same shit. And and you're like, hey, that looks different.
You really notice something's...
something's off. Something's different. And then so you start connecting it. And
you're just like way more connected with what's going on around you, which is, I think, probably better.
Oh, yeah. It is better.
Yeah, I know. Getting Ajax out, that is something, man. Like, of going out, I'm like, looking up at the sky. It's how many times you got at night, you just don't even look up at the sky. And I remember as a kid, like, man, this shit would fascinate me. The moon, and I think I had a telescope at one point, and I was never like super into it, but just like, I could pick out the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper and like Orion's Belt, kind of thing.
That's about as far as I can go with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but still, and I knew that there were other, constellations and shit. I couldn't ever really find them, but then you grow up and somewhere along the line you totally forget about it. You're just like, it's there, it's always there, I don't need to fucking worry about it. And it's weird, man. And then obviously a lot of people live in areas where you can't even see the night sky. There's just so much light pollution. And I mean, even here, man, I'd be interested to go somewhere where there really is like no light pollution. Like, like, I'd love to see what it looks like on Mauna Kea. What is it? Mauna Kea? What is it? My wife's gonna fucking kill me. The fucking big volcano on Hawaii, where they've got some observatories. But it's I mean,
the Keck. Into the Keck Observatory?
I guess so.
I think it's the Keck Observatory.
Yeah. Like, I want to, like, that's one of those things, like, honestly, I'd make an effort to do that.
Yeah.
Because I want to see, like, what does it look like? Like, what does the sky look like? Like, our fucking ancestors would have seen it. Because it's so hard to, between pollution and light pollution and all this shit.
I really wish that was a thing around here in the valley, to where it was a big push from like the mayor or whoever, to cover all the street lights so they're just facing down, and you know what really annoys the fuck out of me is billboards.
Yeah.
They're so big and ugly, man, and especially these big electric, these.
Oh yeah,
these
the
screens,
neon
ones that like give you readouts and all.
Yep.
They're so bright and obnoxious, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man. If I was running the city, I'd shut that shit down. Like, fuck you and your billboards, man.
Yeah.
They're so ugly. We live in this beautiful place, man. Beautiful place. Like, I was up shooting trap the other day. You've seen it. It's up on top of that hill. And you're looking at the Book Cliffs and the Mason. Like, man, this is such a beautiful backdrop to be up here shooting to. And we live in such a beautiful place.
It is.
We got all these stupid goddamn billboards lit up all over the place. And
right.
It's like, fuck,
yeah.
man.
Well, the problem is it doesn't, 1, 2, but like once it starts, you end up like fucking Vegas.
Yeah.
Like those things started there.
Yeah.
And then now you go to any fucking big city, and you're going to see those things all over the place. Like, they're going to replace like a lot of regular billboards, and we got a few here, but they're getting more and more.
More and more.
And yeah, it's this slow creep. And yeah, well, we just don't value, man. What do we value as a society? It's not fucking nature and connecting with things.
Stuff is what we value.
That's what it is, man. I know Shiloh's playing this game called Animal Crossing, which is this hugely popular game, and it is so indicative of. I think The Sims was the first game that I remember that kind of broke the mold of like, what's the point? There's got to be a hero. There's got to be a bad guy. There's got to be a mission. Like, that's the point. Mm-hmm. And you got The Sims comes along, and it's like, what's the point? Nothing. Build a city. Once in a while, send a fucking tornado through it, watch them fucking scramble and build another one. No bad guy, no winning. And it's like, now you get like more of these games where it's like the whole point there is no real point.
Not
Like Minecraft
point. Right.
is a perfect example of it, and this Animal Crossing game is kind of like that too. But it's just hilarious because I'm listening to her like talk about it and give me kind of, oh, this is what I'm doing now, this is what I'm doing now. And dude, so much of it is just teaching you to be a consumer, because it's like, oh, I got to buy a house. Well, now I got to upgrade my house. How do I upgrade my house? Well, I got to buy stuff. So I got to go do this thing so I can go buy stuff so I can upgrade my house. And I'm just like, holy shit, like, what are we doing here? This is, not only is there no bad guy and good guy in some sort of like, story arc that could perhaps teach like, a fucking moral lesson or whatever. And they're also designed to be addictive. And so it's not addictive? Struggle. Mm-hmm. So, it's not fucking Ninja Gaiden on NES, man. Like, yeah.
It was a badass game.
Dude, it was. And it was hard as fuck to beat, man. Hard as fuck. Like, that's why they had the term Nintendo hard. It's like, dude, Nintendo they put out games that would just make you cry. And now they just, that's so rare because that doesn't get you addicted to it. That's the whole thing. It's like, they get you addicted to doing this little task so you can earn money, so you can buy this, and if I do this, and just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So, yeah, it's funny though. It's buying stuff that, yeah.
Buying stuff.
God damn it, dude. What is wrong with us?
God, that's a big question. There's a lot of answers to that. Fuck.
Oh, dude, I know.
What is wrong with us?
What is wrong with us? Well, speaking about something right, how's your Wim Hof?
Dude, Wim Hof. So I called you all excited this week.
Yeah.
I had two big milestones this week with the Wim Hof. And I know it sounds weird, but whatever, fuck it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, so first of all, I'll start with this. Like, on Monday night, I think I hit the spirit world with Wim Hof. I'll just lead with that. Dude, because I got to a place I didn't know was attainable without hallucinogenic drugs. Because I've taken mushrooms or acid quite a few times in my life. So I know what that feels like. I've experienced that on many occasions. This was extremely similar to that, but different also. It's hard to explain. Like you hear people trying to explain a psychedelic trip. It's hard to put words to, man. No matter what words you put to it, it's not going to be the same thing when you experience it.
Right.
So I try to explain this with reservation, but yeah, man. And I noticed it 2 weeks ago. So let me back up. I've been, due to a suggestion by Wim Hof, he had sent out like an email. Now that I'm on that, subscribe to his email list.
Yeah.
Like a month ago, he sent out an email talking about, make Monday your fasting day. And he talked about the benefits of fasting once in a while, and he connected it to his breathing, this and that. I can't remember what the whole email entailed. I've done fasting quite a few times here and there. I was like, oh yeah, let's get back to that. So I've been fasting every Monday, and I end up fasting. I stop eating Sunday evening. I eat dinner or whatever, and I don't eat again until Tuesday morning. So it ends up being like 36 hours. So this is my 4th week of doing it. So I did my breathing Monday morning, pretty good, nothing monumental. Monday night I got home. I was like, all right, let's do some Wim Hof breathing, and then I'm going to jump in and do my cold shower. And like I did my first round. I was like, man, this feels good. And so boom, do a second round. It's like, holy shit, this feels really good. And I was doing breath hold for like up around 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I went third round, and that's when I hit the spirit world. I was like, dude, I wasn't hallucinating, but I wasn't like conscious. I was I didn't go unconscious, but I left where it was almost like an out of body experience. It was fucking weird, man. And why I was doing, but I was observing this while I was doing it, and I'm like, this is fucking great, dude. I feel so good. And then I don't remember consciously making this decision, but I just went with it. I remember I was holding for my third round. I inhaled, held for that 15 seconds, exhaled, and I was starting to do my 4th round. I was like, man, I want to get in a cold shower right now, but I kept the breathing going. So I just moved real slow and deliberately, kept the breathing going. I was fucking high. It was a little bit of a risk. I was like, I know Wim tells you not to do this shit so you don't lose consciousness. And I may have been flirting with consciousness. I don't know, but I was in a different place. Man, I went in there and just barely kicked my shower on it was as cold as possible could get, and jumped right in. Dude, it felt fucking amazing. And then slowly I would still keep my breathing up, but slowly I started kind of coming back to reality in the real world. But man, I think it's got something to do with the fasting. Like every morning I do my Wim Hof and I'm fasted, because a lot of mornings I don't eat breakfast. And so but then you're only fasting for 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But going into it, I was a little over 24 hours when I did this.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did some breathing again Tuesday morning before I ate. Didn't quite hit the same level, but again, it was more profound.
Yeah.
It was fucking, dude, there's something to it. I know it sounds weird.
I know.
But it is the shit.
Yeah.
And so anybody, if you're doing Wim Hof, try it fasted. And try a long fast.
Yeah.
Like 24 hours and then go deep.
Yeah. No, it's funny, man. I remember when you first started it, I think you'd done it for like a week or two, and I came up to you at open mat, and I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure the Wim Hof breathing like puts you in touch with the spirit world, and I could tell by your reaction that you hadn't experienced it yet, and because you were just like, So when you called me up, I was laughing, man. I was like, all right, good, man. Yeah, there's a fucking spot.
There is.
That it's fucking weird, man. I know exactly what you mean. It's a really weird thing. Yeah,
it's hard to, like, I'm using these words. I mean, I have a somewhat decent command of the English language, I think, in understanding.
Yeah.
But I still can't find, like, I search my vocabulary and my skills of explaining things coherently, and I can't. Like, I've been trying to think about it. Like, how do I talk about this?
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of people, well, whoever's listening to this, but like, as far as personal friends go, like, I called you and told you about it because I knew even with my Neanderthal explanation of it, you would get it. But I wouldn't even try to explain this to everybody because they would just look at me and be like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah,
fucking hippie."
Well, yeah, but it kind of like goes back. Like, I mean, fuck, dude. There's like, we are so out of touch with our true nature on some level. And again, like, what do we replace it with? Being fucking consumers and buying shit and whatever. But it's like, once you fucking like have an experience like that, and you're like, oh, and there's like, I don't know, it's like bigger shit out there, other things, like, and it's been really fucking profound for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've had some insights. Like, I had one this morning. It was pretty cool. I'm just fucking super deep, and all of a sudden it's just like all these, I don't know. I've had a few times where the lights have told me, you gotta fucking stop doing this, like, I gotta stop trying so hard. I try to control shit so much. And then this morning, I got the fucking insight that, like, the reason I do is because I'm afraid. I'm afraid to lose shit. And so it makes me try to control things. And then trying to control things just, almost kind of sabotages what I'm, trying to avoid. So, but like, just, and, it sounds, okay, oh, you just said the words. But, man, it's different, like, being in that state of mind, in that place, and then, like, having these thoughts and these insights come in. It's like, dude, it's just so much fucking deeper. It's like so much deeper in your brain than just like reading it in a book. You're like, okay, I get that. But having your own experience with it opens your mind to like, holy shit, like, what the fuck else is out there? And like, what else am I capable of? And yeah. Well, that's why I was like on you so hard to do it, man. Like, I kind of, dude, the very first time, I told you, man, like, I was, I got to like a minute on my first breath hold, and dude, it was weird. It was like an emotional experience. I'm just like, it was just like, wow, like, because you just feel so good, right? Like, that space, it feels, I don't know how to put it, like, it just feels so welcoming. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like glad you're there.
Yeah, dude, and it's almost, to like, if you set a stopwatch almost about a minute in, like, it feels good.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I can tell. Like, I've been done it so many times now, to where even if I had a stopwatch going, I was like, man, I bet you I can almost tell you within a couple seconds when a minute hit, because it almost like a switch flips.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, here's that place.
Yeah.
And if I was to look, I bet you I'd be pretty close to it. And every time, like, dude, it's just, it's hard to put words to it. It just feels good.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's I mean, Kelly's doing it. Got to get Shiloh on. And the other thing too, man, like besides that, I told Shiloh, I'm like, man, I don't even care if you never fucking talk to the spirit world. Like, your breathing gets better. I mean, I've had a couple experiences where I'm just like, dude, like my cardio is different. Mm-hmm. And it's and I can contribute 100% to the Wim Hof breathing because it lets me train just my breathing. So I'm able to breathe better. I'm able to breathe more efficiently. And then that's directly connected to your posture. Like if your posture's off, you are restricting your breathing space. So you have to fix your posture to open up the breathing. So these things are so intimately connected. And like once you get that trained up better, like it starts to affect how you move and how you perform and how you feel. And so, yeah, even beyond just the like that, like there are performance benefits from doing it, like 100%. Mm-hmm. So
dude, I've noticed I'm in pretty good shape anyways, but my cardio and my endurance training are fucking good right now.
Yeah.
Like I just control my breathing. And I mean, granted I have enough jiu-jitsu experience so it's not stressful for me. Right. Even when I'm getting bullied, beat up by Kevin, I can still stay relaxed and I just breathe.
Yeah.
And when the pace picks up, you and I will have some scrambles, boom, 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 but it's still just, I breathe and it's just like, okay, here we go. And dude, yeah, man, I don't know if my breathing muscles are getting stronger, if I'm more in tune with it. I don't know, and I don't really care.
Yeah.
It's definitely improved.
Yeah, your breathing's more efficient for sure.
Way more efficient.
Yeah, I mean there's just so many benefits to doing it, but yeah, I think the fucking spirit world, man, you start to realize like, holy shit, and then you think back, it's like there's a reason, like people have used like different things to communicate with the spirit world, whether it is like
the holotropic breathing.
Yes, exactly, man. The fucking all that. Like, I've been doing my breathing to music. So especially when you get like some fucking like tribal music, and
and put you in a different place,
totally different place, and you're just like, god damn, you see why they were doing it. Like, holy shit, you had entire cultures that somehow understood that as a group they could go to these fucking places, and what. Yeah, I don't know. We make fun of that shit today, like it's because
it is weird. But dude, so the other little, I guess, milestone that I hit the other day, I started to tell you about it when we were wrestling last night. Yeah. But so I did a little workout, and towards the end of my workout, and I hadn't, like, I wasn't soaked in sweat. I wasn't out there doing like CrossFit fucking workout. I was just moving and some strength stuff. I was like, oh, let's finish with some horse stance and real slow, controlled Wim Hof breathing, and how he does his chant and stuff. Like, it's goofy, but it feels good. Dude, like you said, I don't have full command of this. I can't just do this at will, but I've seen the light that it is possible. Like, dude, I jacked my body temperature up to a level and I had never attained, and the amount of sweat that just started pouring out of me was fucking ridiculous, dude. It was like I'd been in the sauna for 30 minutes. And I had only got into the horse stance for a minute and a half. I wasn't really paying attention. I really slowed my breathing down, and I don't know how long I inhaled, but I was just really, that breathing was the sole focus. I just doing horse stance along with it. Dude, next thing you know, it was like someone turned a faucet on. It was just like
fire groin, dude.
Dude, like it was literally like pouring off my elbows. I'm doing shit in horse stance, and I had puddles developing around me. I was like, what in the fuck? Like, yeah, let's just stay with this. Like, let's go. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking bananas, man. I never experienced something like that before.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
He said in the video, like with horse stance, he was talking about like, because that's why I call it fire groin. I forget exactly what he said, but he was talking about like, your groin and generating heat, and like, that's where your energy or whatever. Like, so I have to go back and watch it, but all I took from it was fire groin.
Fire groin.
So
that's what I experienced. Like, it was something different. Well, because then I've read stories about. They've done different experiments on these monks that control their breathing. And there's the one, the famous... Tumo.
Yep.
And there's this one experiment they did. I don't remember the exact details, but basically they took this monk, stuck him in some cold-ass room, if I remember right, and then they put a wet sheet on him, a wet blanket, and he was, like, with his body, he dried the fucking blanket. You know, because I forget what the temperature of the room was, but it was a really cold environment.
Yeah.
And putting a wet blanket on somebody seems like it would cause hypothermia. No, he dried the fucking blanket.
Yeah.
Through generating the heat through his body and shit.
It has to be.
There's something there, man.
Yeah, there's something there.
There's something there.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I can't control it. I can't just do it at will.
Right.
But maybe I can one day.
No, man, I'm like, dude, where are we going to be in like 5-10 years? Like, this is like jiu-jitsu sort of thing for me. It's like, dude, I'm in my fucking white belt phase.
For sure.
I might have a couple stripes on there, but I don't
even think I got stripes on that thing yet.
Oh, you got a stripe for sure, dude.
I just learned how to tie my belt, so to speak.
No. If you hit the fucking spirit world, you get a stripe. So.
Next thing I'm doing is, I think I'm going to go to Murdoch's, the Farm and Fleet place today.
Okay.
They have those like 110 gallon stock tanks.
Yep.
For like $45 right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're usually around 100. I'm pretty sure. I was talking to Trey yesterday. He's like, yeah, they had a sale on them this week. So I'm going to go get one of those because they already have a drain on there. So you can have a garden hose up to it.
Yep.
So you can drain it. I'm going to, give myself a ice bath.
Nice.
And I'm going to have it. Man, in a perfect world, this is my brain going. I would like to have a cold plunge set up ready to rock and roll on a regular basis. So I've been looking at getting like a pump, a recirculating pond pump, so I can keep water in it, so I don't have to empty and drain it, empty. Because those pond pumps are cheap to run, and the water doesn't get stagnant. So I could fill that thing up.
Cover it. And
just throw a cover on it and keep, let that pump run somehow.
Yeah.
And then that way the water stays fresh. And then that way every morning I don't need an ice bath every morning. It doesn't need to be fucking 35 degrees. But even if that water's like 50 degrees, which is cool. Yeah. Just for a cool plunge in the morning.
61 degrees is the magic number.
Is it?
He talks about that in one of the
cool
videos. It's like 61 degrees is where you get the benefits of cold.
Okay.
So you can go colder than that, but like 61 is kind of where those like the full benefits kick in.
Gotcha.
And
so I would love to have it set up to where I can keep it. So I just have a cold plunge. Like I want to set it up in my garage, so I just have a cold plunge, man. I can get up and be part of my morning routine. Do my Wim Hof breathing, boom, little cold plunge, and then I'm, and then if it's already set up, ready to go, you're not filling it and draining it, blah, blah, blah.
It's pain.
Yeah, so that's a project I've got in the works in my head. But
nice.
For now, if I just got to fill it and drain it, whatever. I'm
right.
Maintaining the temperature. I looked at getting a system, like a chiller system, so I can hook a pump, run the water through the chiller system and back into the tank so I can always keep it cold. It's doable, but it's not cheap.
Yeah.
Finding a circulating chiller system.
Right.
Yeah, you're spending a few $100.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. And I'm like, well, I don't want to get that involved with it.
You sure?
Well, maybe.
Man, yeah, it gets fucking hot during the day. It warms that water up.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That would be tough to do.
Yeah, especially that metal tank.
Well, I think the stock tank, these are plastic. Like
okay.
Polymer. But either way, it's still
it'll get fucking heated up. Yeah, that pool that we had set up for Z, that thing was like a cold hot tub. It was very warm, and it's so like. Yeah, anyways, to try to cool that off would be tough.
Yeah, even if I kept it in my garage out of the sun, my garage still gets hot.
The sun's the deal. If you can keep it out of the sun, that would make a huge difference. Because like my mom has the same pool, and she has a tree next to it, so it's shaded like several hours longer than the one we got here, and it's not nearly as hot.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're able to get some shade on, it'll make a big difference. But yeah, I did the one cold bath. I hesitate to use the word ice bath because I had like my tub of ice, which is it's a good amount of ice, but it's not like bags and bags and bags.
It melts pretty fast.
Yeah, there weren't freaking ice cubes, an inch of ice cubes floating on the top, and but it was cold.
That's that's still a cold plunge.
Yeah. I got it. I bet it was under 61.
Yeah.
So I got in. But what was fucking hilarious is we're done with the fundamentals course.
Oh, are you? So yeah, because you're about 5 weeks ahead of me. So.
Oh man, week 10 things kind of fall apart, but I'll let you.
Do they?
Yeah, a little bit with whole fucking Marika, like that chick, man.
The yoga chick.
Yeah, I've told you my theory, right? I think she's sleeping with his son.
Oh.
So I'm trying to figure because it's obvious they've never worked together. Like you've picked that up.
Yeah,
right?
there's
it's
not
awkward.
There's not a lot of connection.
No, it's very awkward.
He doesn't know where she's going with things.
Yeah, and she's not really trying to flow with him. She almost tries to like take things over, at certain points, and it's very awkward. And I'm like, dude, you can't tell me that they could not have found a yoga teacher that he knows and has some connection with and can work with. I'm like,
there's not a lot of connection there.
No. And I'm like, why? And all of a sudden it dawned on me, because I think you've mentioned before, somebody like that it's his son that insists that he makes money off of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so his son's kind of the driver behind it. And I'm like, oh, she's sleeping with his son. Like that's how this became about. You know, his son is like, hey, you know, I've got this great idea. We're going to do this new fundamentals course, and it's going to have like yoga to kind of get you stretched out before we do the breathing. It'll be this good synergy thing. And, you know, my girlfriend Marika here can do it, and she'll do it. And, you know, Wim's like, fucking sure, whatever, and just going along with it. But, dude, it is so awkward sometimes between those two. And, yeah. At the end, her session, man, I don't know. I can't help myself. I'm gonna give it away. The yoga session is just do what you want. That's it. She stands up. She's like, so we're trying, and dude, it was so awkward, man. It was so awkward, and she's just like, so, you know, we're just gonna tap into your own creativity. So I just want you to, you know, you're just going to move. You're just going to do what feels good to you, your own movement flow. And Wim's going to play music, and we're just going to move whatever feels good to us. And so you can tell everyone around is like, the fuck, man? Like, what are you talking about? What's going on here? And so, so she starts going through these, like, yoga flows, and everyone else is just kind of like, okay. And they're, like, kind of stretching. One dude never moved. He just sat there like this, cross-legged the whole time. And
I bet you I know what guy that is in the video.
Yeah, probably, man. And
that's funny.
And you know, Wim is like playing his guitar and singing, and dude, this is like for like 5 minutes, which is a fucking eternity when things are really awkward. And you can tell, oh, dude, it was so funny, man. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is the stretching and yoga is her saying, do what you want? Like, that's fucking insanity.
Yeah, even I'm only, like, say, I think I'm going into week 6 or week 5 or 6, can't remember now. But I don't put a ton of stock into her portions of it already. I discovered that early on. Like
she's a yoga chick.
Like the 3rd weekend. I was like, okay, I don't mind doing some yoga. But there's been, I think it was this past week, I saw what she was doing, and I just kind of scrubbed forward in the video until she was out of the picture and Wim came back in. I was like, all right.
Yeah, she's
that's...
Yeah. But anyways, like I said, I that insight came to me one day. I'm like, oh, it's like, how do you get into that position? You have to know someone. And you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, yeah, she's sleeping with his son. All right, that makes sense. So anyways, that's my theory on Marika. But so anyways, I forgot where the fuck I was going with that.
I don't know.
But who cares? Yeah, it's good. Oh, the fundamentals course. But anyways, we're through that. Anyways, I forget.
So what are you guys going to do? Are you just going to continue your own journey with the Wim Hof stuff? Or?
I guess so. Yeah, we're finishing this last week, which is, 4 rounds of just the regular breathing. And, but I'm not really sure. I mean, Keela and I talked about it for a second, but I don't know. I might play around with it a little bit. I wish I understood it a little bit better. I wonder if, like, there's, like, some deeper... Because you have this toolbox, right? Like, you got the power breathing, you got the regular breathing, you got the breathing with the push-ups, which has both hold on the inhale and the exhale. So you have these different tools. And it's kind of like, what exactly do they, like, how would I want to combine these? Like,
exactly. What kind of system? Yeah, I don't have, right now, mine is just kind of a patchwork of shit. The one thing that's a constant is 3 or 4 rounds every morning. And then at night, sometimes I do a couple rounds before I get in the cold shower. But that's part of it. Is cold shower every night. Yeah. I discovered on the app too. They have like the 20-day cold shower challenge. Yeah. And so you can keep track, and then you set it to Hof method or Hof mode. And do you see there's like beginner mode, like intermediate, and then you can go to like Hofer mode. Oh yeah. And it increases the time to like week 1 is 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the cold shower, and then week 2's 2:30, whatever it increases. Yeah. So I just cranked it up to Hofer mode, and I just started keeping track. Like last night was day number 2. I was like, oh, this would kind of keep me accountable, kind of keep me on track. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but it's kind of a patchwork of shit. Like, okay, I'll do the breathing here and the cold showers, but when do I do the push-ups? How do they fit in with my other training?
Right.
You know, like,
yeah.
There's not a real solid system. I haven't figured out a solid system yet.
No. I almost want to get the other fundamentals course because it basically it's just a series of lectures from him.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. And so I almost wonder if, like, you know, for guys like you and me, that'd probably be better. Like, it seems like that fundamentals course was really kind of put together for, like, the people in that room, you know, like, you know.
And they just happen to set up a camera, like, hey, this is...
Yeah, well, just like people who aren't, like, they don't really have a strong background in this shit, you know. We're pretty, you know, we're outliers in the fitness community, right? Like, we know some shit, we've got some experience, we practice a lot of this stuff on some level. You know, we've got way more body awareness, and so we're interested in that. So, you know, I feel like the fundamentals course, it was just very surface level. You know, it's like he talks about some stuff, but we're not really, like, getting, like I said, like those tools that are really going to allow you to continue to build with stuff. So, you know, kind of experiment. Of course, you know, one of the guys asked him, like, what was a daily practice? What would it look like? And Wim's like, whatever you want. Whatever, you know, on some level, yeah, you got to experiment and find out. But, you know, metabolically, like, the power breathing's doing something. The regular breathing's doing something. The push-ups are doing something. Like, you know, how can I, you know, use that to help guide my experimentation, I guess, sort of thing. So that's, like, my only one, like, my one complaint. But that's, like, you know, we're high-end users. You know, we're not average people. Like, most people are going to be pumped to come out of that and be like, oh, man, I got a good experience, learned about the breathing.
But I think I agree. Like, I'm slowly working on coming up with a system because that way it just becomes habit.
Yeah.
And it's plugged into this time of my day. And I kind of, like, bookend it with, okay, I'm going to do the Wim Hof 4 rounds and then work out. Or I'm going to do the 3 rounds and then cold. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I need, okay, this is going to be the push-ups prior to doing this. You know, like, I need a system.
Yeah.
And that way you habitualize it.
For sure, yeah.
You know, like, this is when I do this.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
This is when I do this. Boom, boom. Yeah, I haven't quite got it dialed in that far yet. But
yeah, sure it'll come with experience. But I'm going to keep digging into it. Like I said, I'll probably get that other course. There's a whole, like, you know, levels to it, you know, ending with, you know, become certified, man. You got to go through several steps. I'm sure the you know, total investment starts to add up.
I'm sure it
quite a bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been kind of curious, though. It's like, you know, like, if that's to use Wim Hof's name and say I am teaching the Wim Hof method. You know, kind of like, you know, I teach CrossFit. I got to pay money and go through something to be able to use that name. You know, if I'm saying, like, go get the app, go learn Wim Hof breathing from Wim Hof, but I'm going to help you understand how to use those things for mountain biking or whatever that is. You know, so I'm not trying to, like, do an in run around, but, like, you know, is that worth, like, if that's all I want to do, is it worth all the time, money, and effort to become, like, Wim Hof certified when I'm not really interested in, like, coaching people personally or running Wim Hof workshops with multiple people? It's more like, I want you to learn how to do the fucking breathing. I can give you a few pointers or whatever based on my own experience, but the main thing is, like, here's how I would use the breathing, you know, on a daily basis for, you know, this, or, you know, do this before your workout and this after your workout, like we were talking about, you know. So I don't know if I need to be Wim Hof certified necessarily to try and help people use Wim Hof method. I just need, if I'm not teaching it, so to speak. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree. Because it'd be nice to be able to help people incorporate in the other stuff we show them. Even, like, to be good enough to start incorporating into our Grumpy Guy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, here, you guys use this here, you know. Yeah, unless you're going to be going balls deep and holding workshops and seminars.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously if you want to claim the Wim Hof method.
Yeah, be able to hang that or put it on your website.
Put that up and get people to sign up. Obviously, you have to do that.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, you know, people, it's paying for that credibility stamp.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the same thing with CrossFit.
Yeah.
You know,
or any certification.
Certification. You want to teach people, quote unquote, functional fitness.
Yeah.
And have them doing CrossFit style workouts. If you just open up a gym called Rob's Functional Fitness.
Right.
Or if you got one next door called CrossFit.
You're borrowing their credibility by using their name.
Exactly. You open up one called Rob's CrossFit, you're going to get more people coming into Rob's CrossFit than Rob's Functional Fitness, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So it depends on where you want to go with it.
Yeah.
If you just want to help those people that are close and important to you, no.
No.
If you want to make some
money
money
out
on
it,
it,
client. If I'm like, hey, you know what? Download the goddamn app for free. Like, I don't need to teach it to you. Like, you have all the resources to learn it and start using it for free.
Yep.
So there's like really no excuse. It's not even like you have to buy one of these courses.
You don't have to buy anything
to learn to start using it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, no, go here, learn how to use it. Now I'll help you fit it in with your workout schedule and blah blah blah. And that's kind of more how I see it working, because especially since I work with so many people like distance coaching, I'm not there working with you one-on-one trying to actually teach you how to do the breathing method. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little bit different, but I definitely want to dig into it more. Like I said, I want to figure out the toolbox a little bit more and how to use it. But overall though, I'm fucking digging it, man.
I'm digging it too. I'm glad you turned us on to it.
Fuck yeah. My buddy Mark said he got a 10-minute breath hold the other day.
Did he?
Yeah.
I called him bullshit. he's whether he's intentionally doing, he's inhaling ever so slightly.
It is so hard not to.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
Because I even find myself, man, when I lay there, it's like I find if I can relax all my sinuses and my airways, it's almost like air comes in anyways.
Yeah.
It does.
If I start moving at all, just trying to like wiggle at all, like it's just that mechanical movement of the lungs just gets something moving around.
When you really relax and you feel and you think about it, because then that tightness goes away. And then if you do that, if you try to exhale a little bit more, there's stuff to exhale.
Yeah.
Like when it's getting real tight and you're almost to the end and you're holding, there's a little bit in there. You're exhaling a little bit. You're like, hey, I didn't really inhale. Where'd that come from? Yeah. But so that's what's happening. Yeah. I've had enough experience now too, because when I really relax, it's almost like I can feel it coming in. Yeah. And I'm not I'm not taking a breath. Right. But if I get really relaxed, I think, okay. Yeah. That's the only way you're going at it.
I know, man. I know. It's like, and especially when you're moving around, like the more you move, the more that's going to happen. Yep. And so, he says he's like getting up and shadow boxing and moving around. Like, so he's not laying there and he's like getting up and moving around. And, still it's impressive to like, still like hold your breath even with just minimal air exchange for 10 minutes. Again, it's just, you don't have to breathe as much as you think you do. Right. But I'm with you, man. I think if you're just laying there and trying to minimize that and being conscious of it, that's fucking tough. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know where my holds are at. I stopped timing them. I timed it the other day. I almost got to 3 minutes on the last one. It was like an average of like 2:36. But I just do the music now, and because it's funny, man. As soon as I throw a timer on it, it's different. Like now I'm worried about the timer. I can't help it. Yeah. So like I enjoy it more without the timer. And on some level, I'm like, who the fuck cares? Like what would happen if you had like a really fucking good deep one and you're like, God, dude, that was fucking awesome. Whew, I felt good. And then you look at it and you're like, God damn, my holds were only a minute. And then all of a sudden you have like this negative association with what was out. Yeah. And it's like, well, why would I do that? Like, if I don't give a fuck about how long I'm holding it, then so it's good. Like I said, I like to do it just to kind of see where I'm at. Make sure I'm not just at a minute thinking I'm kicking ass. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten addicted to it. Like I put on some Wim Hof breathing music and just go with that.
Just hearing you say that, I need to spend more time doing that because I've been using the bubble breathing.
Yep.
And it's got the timer on there. He counts the 40 breaths for you, and then you exhale and you do your hold. And then when you're ready to bail, you hit your phone.
It's a great place to start.
And then it counts your 15 seconds for you, so you can do your inhale and hold, and then it just repeats the cycle. That's a nice tool.
Oh, yeah.
But, I got enough experience now to where, like this week, I'm going to make that my focus this week. I'm going to get away from that and just get he's got the one-on-one guided sessions. Just do that or just, some music, just some... hippie Wim fucking.
I got a couple I'll show you that are real good.
You find them on YouTube or something.
Yeah, they're just YouTube videos you can play. And
yeah, I'm gonna do that this week then.
Yeah, I like that. It's definitely a good experience. So we still got time to talk about our subject for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about.
What time is it?
It's 10 o'clock.
Is it 10?
Basically, yeah.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
We've
cool.
been at it for a little over an hour now.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, this is like the good old days, man. When we had a subject and we talked for an hour about something else.
And then spent the
we
last
spent
5
like
minutes
15
about the
minutes, 10 minutes on the
and
subject.
then I titled the episode for what we talked about in the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
To totally mislead people.
That's awesome. So, yeah, the subject that I threw out last night, which I think is always kind of fun to discuss, is your favorite 3 submissions and why.
Well, I like to word it how you worded it to me last night, to where if you could only pick 3 submissions for the rest of your jiu-jitsu life,
yeah,
what would they be?
What would they be?
I like that. You want to go or you want me to go?
No, I mean, I can go.
Go for it.
So, it's funny. My first 2 were pretty easy. The guillotine, particularly arm and guillotine, the fucking guillotine, and the triangle. Like those 2. And I'm kind of cheating with the triangle a little bit because I feel like the triangle from the front or the back, I mean, it's a triangle.
Still a triangle.
It's still a triangle.
Still a triangle.
So, which way, I get it. But yeah, the triangle. And then, man, the third one was fucking tough because, like, my instinct is, an ankle lock or, some sort of, like, leg lock. But realistically, it is so hard, especially in the gi. Like, I just don't do enough no-gi. If I did a lot of no-gi, I'd probably go, like, heel hook. Mm-hmm. That would be my third one.
Because they're there all the time.
Yeah. And
I see them, especially... I mean, granted, in the gi, people aren't looking to defend the heel hook because we don't do them necessarily in the gi. But if you pay attention and you realize when the foot's there, like, dude, it's here all the time.
Well, not having the ability to go to the fucking the inside sankaku, the honey hole, whatever the fuck you want to call it, like the whole reaping thing, man, it's such a penalty for leg locks because it's such a, like, you cannot lock the hip and secure the hip super effectively without being able to reap. It's fucking, like, it's super hard. And especially when people know what's going on and they're working like crazy to clear the knee line. Man, you get somebody in the fucking, the fucking honey hole and they're stuck. And so it's a different thing. So, I mean, that would, it kind of comes with a caveat. Like, if we didn't have, gi rules and I could reap and we could go to the fucking honey hole and do heel hooks and shit, like, that would be my third one for sure. But because that's not the case, actually, I think, fuck, man, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what my third one is. It's such a toss-up. Like, my instinct is the Kimura. Like, I like the fucking Kimura.
It's very versatile.
It's super versatile. But the thing is, like, I almost like it more as, like, a controlling position, controlling thing, because I don't necessarily hit a lot of Kimuras. I do here and there, but I'm using that grip a ton to set up other shit. And so, if I can get the Kimura, especially, it goes well with the triangle too. Somebody goes to, like, fucking hide their arm and you go to the reverse your legs and dig that arm out, you got a fucking Kimura right there. So the 2 kind of go together. So that would be my 3. I think
it's pretty close, similar to mine.
Yeah?
Yeah, very rear naked choke.
Okay, yep.
Triangle.
Yep.
Triangles. And Kimura.
Oh yeah, you like the Kimura too, huh?
Yeah. If I had to just pick 3, and if you pay attention to what I do a lot.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm always fighting that Kimura grip from you, and
always.
you're threatening it all the time.
Because there's so much shit from there. Sets up different lapel chokes, sets up position, sets up back control, sets up triangles.
Yeah.
And if not, the Kimura's there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. So we both like to get our arms around the neck and choke them, which is differ in the angle. You like to do it from the back, and I like to do it from the front.
And I hit a lot of triangles too.
Yeah.
I like triangles.
Triangles are they're such a versatile tool too. And they're fucking all over
bottom,
the place.
from top, from back,
Yep.
from bottom side control.
Dude, mount and triangle everywhere,
like,
man. Yeah.
Everywhere.
They're great. So yeah, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Kimura's a good one. So.
And I could even cheat and use the Rabo Plata in the Kimura too, because it's the exact same shoulder lock.
Yeah.
And I've got my arm interlaced, but I'm using my leg kind of like a honey hole, Popolo control
Right.
on the arm. I could, if we're stretching the rules a little bit,
That was funny last
I
night.
could call that a Kimura.
We're like chokes and joint locks. That's what I like to do.
That's what I was going to say the answer.
Yeah. Started with like lapel chokes.
Lapel chokes.
That's pretty
Lapel
broad.
chokes and joint locks.
Should you just say the Toledo choke?
Yeah, I love that one.
Oh yeah, man.
Variations of it.
And then and that's another one like the Kimura that you use real effectively to set up other shit. Because like if somebody really sells out to defend that, then
they're gonna give up something else.
Yeah, they give up something else, and then they defend that, and you grab the fucking lapel some other direction. So yeah, you're super effective with that lapel, man. Once you get that thing snaking around my neck, it's like, god damn it, it's tough to get away from. Because you add in like another third gripping option. It's like not only can you grab my lapel, you can grab your own lapel, and you get my towel in there too. And it's like, fuck,
it's
man.
Good control, and you got good grip, and then I can finish it like the head down style, or I can loop my hand over. Cause that's how I finished you last time. It was more like an Ezekiel style.
Yeah.
To where I had this, and you're privy to it because I try it on you all the time. So you had it shut down pretty good. I couldn't finish it. I couldn't get enough twist. But so then I aborted mission and shoved my hand back in there and just clamped it down. And that's that's that motion too, is I shove my hand in like this, and then the gi's right here, and then I go like this.
Yeah.
And it just
Fuck yeah,
it's hard.
man.
Even with your hands in there, I can choke people most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the leverage you get off of that gi is just
ridiculous.
Incredible. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, it's that's one of those danger zones. It's funny, man. Somebody was asking, it's like, oh, how do you stop from getting in like that choke position? It's like, dude, you gotta recognize, like, not all submissions are created equal. Like, some you need to respect way more than others. Like, there's some that trying to fight out of that fucking the Toledo choke is way different than trying to fight out of, I don't know, it's fucking a lot of other things, man. And so you got to be like super careful about not getting too deep in it, because once that fucking thing gets under your chin and you start getting some tension on it,
it's tough,
dude. Oh man, yeah, it's tough. So that's the one you got to watch. But yeah, those red light moments, man, it still amazes me how many people like let me grab their head and they like get their chin, and it's like, dude, like you need to fucking move, man. Do not let me grab your head. Like this is,
it's getting dangerous quickly.
Yes, this is a bad, and even if I don't get the choke, just now I'm in a position to start fucking putting some pressure on the back of your head, and
it's bad on your neck.
Yeah, it's not a fucking good thing.
No.
And people are just like, they're just, focus on other things. And it's like, dude, this is the fight right here.
This is the focus right now.
This is the focus right here. Yeah, it's funny, man. I've been working that a lot. I've been baiting it because we got to do the whole gym. My whole gym's fucking big dudes, and so I've been wrestling with big white belts. And sometimes it can be hard to stay mounted on them.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
If they're big and athletic, dude, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is like sneaking into like a knee on belly, and then starting to let off the pressure ever so slightly, so they'll turn into me, and they start turning in, and I just fucking snatch the head, and it's either the arm in, the hingertine, or if they start to turn back, go for the fucking darce. But like baiting that off of. It's like I'm having trouble holding mount on someone, or I can't open something up. They're just real good defending. It's like, all right, I'll give you a little I'll take the pressure off this way and see if you turn. And there's your head, motherfucker. All right, let's go. But yeah, grabbing people's head is, you try not to do it too much because you want to be nice to your training partners, but it's a good thing.
Yeah,
man.
I respect it.
Yeah,
I respect, especially a few of you guys that like if they're. I know if you grab the head, it's gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
So I'd stop it early on.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I don't want to have to fight, like dig myself out of that hole. Like fuck this, because it gets too deep. You're like, god damn it, my ears are getting mangled, my fucking neck's getting cranked.
Well, it's like
this is a bad deal.
It's the upper body ankle lock.
Yeah.
It's just saying, like, if I get your neck, it's kind of like getting your ankle. And it's like, dude, even if I'm not getting the fucking submission off of this, it's controlling. I can start putting heat on stuff and making it uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, you got to get that ankle the fuck out of there, and the same thing with the neck. Like, I get that neck and, dude, it's just, it's a good...
And you better fight that early on. Don't fight it later on.
Yeah.
It takes way more effort to fight later on.
Yeah, no, man, for sure. But, yeah, that Hingertine seminar I went to definitely paid off. I got to try them. I forgot how to do the monoplata.
Yeah, I would have to re-drill that one.
I'm going to have to drill that today. I've tried it on a couple people and just like, fuck it, triangle.
Well, what I tried doing that. I gotta look up that pimento helicopter choke. I tried.
Oh, yeah.
I so fucked that up on you last night. I don't know. I gotta watch the video, but it's somehow from turtle, getting the collar like a clock choke grip, and then swinging your leg over and rolling. And I think I went with the wrong leg. I don't know what fucking happened. Next thing I know, you were on top, looking to grab my head and shit. I was like, "God,
Spectacular defense.
I don't think that was it. No. Because I think if I would have done it right, you would have been in trouble.
Probably, man. Probably. So.
As soon as I did it and went tumbling off your back, I was like, oh, that was not successful. Like, as I tumbled and rolled, it like unwound the choke. I was like, oh, fuck. So that was not good.
Yeah, I remember, man, thinking, like, you went jumping and my head popped up and you went fucking rolling over in front of me. And I'm like,
your head shouldn't have popped up. I did something wrong.
No, yeah. That was funny, though. Sweet, man.
Cool.
Let's go get something to eat before we go do Grumpy
From
Guy.
the train. Cool.
Yeah, you're running the show today.
Am I?
Yep.
Sweet.
So, cool, man.
See you.
See you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now, so get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
With a permanent friend, a hermit now, fool. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy outside Molly dude. Melancholy Daisy Duke, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools, shaped into face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose. One eye always open, in times two, no clue. But soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near, beware there's consequences for what you do. To me, demon, a devil of many levels. I keep on feeding for several of them rebels. Me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I.